resilient, and determined.
She is back.
You came into my life so unexpected. I guess it's destiny. You know you're just my type, so I'll give you all my loving. Oh, hey. Even if I have me a telescope, I never see the love coming. We don't need confirmation on our love from a horoscope. Say the word and I'll come running. I'm on my way, with no delay. I'm falling like a girl all the way. Let them talk and say what they want to say. We know that love is here to stay. Can't nobody love you like I do, like I do, like I do. Can't nobody love me like you do, like you do, like you do. Love your energy, oh yeah. Said I love your energy, oh yeah. Your energy, love your energy, oh yeah. Said I love your energy, oh yeah. Your energy, baby.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Grind Fantasy official live stream for this NBA 7-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday. Let's go ahead and just dive right into the slate, TJ. We have 7 games with a ton of injury news, pending injury news, so hopefully we get that injury news throughout the live stream and hopefully help out you guys. Yes, if you guys could show some support, hit that like button, get us to the top of the search results, please. Let's start out with what we know right now, TJ. And what we know, Orlando has quite a bit of guys out that does impact that picture. Let's start out there because we actually have one of the chalkiest guys on the slate there in that game. Everybody should know exactly who we're talking about. Let's go ahead and start there. Orlando showing 35.7% ownership on Vucevic. TJ, let us know what that picture looks like.
Yeah, but Matt, Vuce last game against Chicago only played 20 minutes, 33 DraftKings.
Yeah, I know. So that means he's going to do exactly that again. He's going to chalk bust, right?
Yep. No. So love Vooch again tonight. Matt and Cash, obviously. 6-point road dogs going up against Portland. Vucevic showing the highest ownership, and obviously rightfully so at 89. I think he is underpriced. We have no Aminu. We have no Michael Carter-Williams. We have no Fournier now, and we've had no Aaron Gordon for a little bit. Vooch gets a 5.1% usage bump, 1.49 fantasy point per minute, and a 35% usage rate. I have him deemed for our pegged for 54.8 DraftKings points. So I love Vooch tonight in cash, especially going up against Portland and a guy like Canner. I do think this is a good matchup for Vooch as long as this game stays competitive. We saw both sides against Chicago of what if this game's competitive and what if it's not. In the game that it was competitive against Chicago, where Vooch played 37 minutes, he went for 78 DraftKings points. Now, I'm not saying if this game's competitive, he's going to have that same output, because we did see in the back-to-back against Chicago the next night where he only played 24 minutes and got 33 DraftKings points. So I think we saw kind of both sides. Obviously, I think that 78-point output was more of a ceiling game for Vooch on the year. But at 8,900, playing the minutes he will play with these guys out in the usage boost that he does accrue. If the game stays competitive and he can play 35 minutes, I see no issue with him getting, not hitting 50 DraftKings points, honestly. So I love Vooch. Cole Anthony at 5,900, I don't hate. Probably more of a tournament play for me, but he does get a 5.9% usage bump. Matt, he's a 0.96 fantasy point per minute. And then we have these other guys like Dwayne Bacon, Kem Birch, James Ennis, Gary Clark, and if you want to take stabs at them, like, go ahead. They should start Cole Anthony, Gary Clark, Dwayne Bacon, Vooch, and Ennis, which is just like an absolutely abysmal starting lineup. But like Ennis is going to carry a little bit of ownership. Dwayne Bacon is. People are going to ask about like Frank Mason coming off the bench at 3,300.
Yeah, he's carrying some ownership.
I think you can take some stabs at some of these guys. We got questions on it last time with Frank Mason, and he actually played a lot more than I had anticipated. But that was because Foreign got hurt, so he ended up playing 26 minutes at 3K and hit value there last game against Chicago. At 3,300 now, he should play around 22-ish minutes. Like, I don't hate him as a pump play. If you're landing there in cash as the last piece, like, he doesn't need that much to get you value, so I guess I don't hate it. But for me, Matt, and cash, I'd probably just taken Vooch and go. Dwayne Bacon at 35% that I'm showing on Roto is just, I don't know if I can trust that, man.
Yeah. Right now, Vucevic is going to be the chalkiest option on this team. And guys, please don't look at the last matchup. Don't game log look, because you'll fall into the same trap as you guys did. When we were playing DeMar DeRozan, we were riding that train for a while there, and it paid off dividends, TJ. We were able to take advantage of all the people not playing DeMar DeRozan for whatever reason after an 8-point performance, and then the next 3 games, he smashed value. So similar type of situation here. Vucevic, an outlier performance here, only playing 24 minutes. He should play over 30 minutes, TJ, and he should easily hit value given
35.
Given the amount of usage that is given to him. 5.9 point per dollar value right now. Frank Mason, we're gonna get a ton of questions. I don't hate him. 21 minutes if you're looking for a 3.3K type of plug, a stars and scrubs type lineup. By the way, I saw in the chat, guys, a huge shout out to us, TJ, for calling out the Milwaukee Bucks last night. So we had a $20,000 winner, stacked the Denver and Milwaukee game, got some shares of Middleton and also Jokic, and pushed them to 3rd place overall. I think it was a $4 buy-in contest, TJ.
Yep, $4 buy-in. Yep,
it's absolutely insane.
I can read that lineup, Matt, too, if you
Go
want.
ahead, let's hear it. And again, it was a lot of them were Denver and Milwaukee guys.
Yep, it was. Let's see if I can see it here. Big shout out to Thomas. He had Nato, Echuan Moore, Sterling Brown, Siakam. He had Jokic, Middleton, DeJounte Murray, and Malik Beasley. So he had the 2 studs that you needed from that game, like we talked about in Jokic and Middleton. Yep. It was absolutely incredible lineup. $4, 120K.
Yeah, unbelievable. And again, he is one of the Patreon users. You guys can sign up on Patreon for $20 a month. Gives you access to every single sport. And also, you guys get to chat with us all day long. Yeah, NASCAR starts tonight, guys, by the way. Starts in an hour and a half.
Is it the Daytona 500?
It is. Okay. It is, but there's only 22 drivers. 500. Anybody who knows anything about NASCAR, let me know why there's only 22 drivers tonight. I don't know what's going on. I saw that, and it's a real thing. Anyway, let's move on to some more chalk. Let me look at the usage board here. All right. Do you want to talk about Detroit yet, or do you want to wait for that picture to shake up?
Nah, we can't, because we don't even know who's going to... I mean, Wayne Ellington and DeLon Wright, that's huge news, because, if those guys sit, I have no idea who's going to play point guard for them if DeLon Wright's out.
Right.
No Killian Hayes, no Derrick Rose, obviously just got traded. Dennis Smith isn't going to play. I don't think Frank Jackson's going to play. I honestly... Saban Lee could play and start at guard. I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. So I would assume that DeLon Wright guts it out and plays. But yeah, let's go back to that, because we'll get that news on stream.
All right. Well, then let's move on to the second highest over under with some injuries. My San Antonio Spurs are without Aldridge and Derek White officially. So let's move on to the San Antonio Spurs. They got that win last night, proved why they were the best team in the NBA and continue to be. So they're going to do it again tonight. DeJounte Murray showing 27.1% ownership. Lonnie Walker showing 24.6% ownership, and DeMar DeRozan only 18.5%. TJ, do you have any interest in your boy? I'm going to call him your boy now, DeMar DeRozan.
He is my boy. We dancing with DeRozan again tonight?
Yeah,
now?
Are we?
Yeah, I have some interest, of course. No Aldridge, no Derek White tonight. Lonnie Walker is back, so input Lonnie Walker, take out Derek White. So subtract Derek White, I guess we could say. DeMar, 2.7% usage bump, Matt. 1.25 fantasy point per minute, and the highest usage on the team at 26.4%. I have him pegged for 45 DraftKings points, so I do like DeMar again tonight against Golden State. DeJounte Murray, 8 steals last night, Matt. 8 steals. absolutely insane.
Mhm.
2.4% usage bump, 1.15 fantasy point per minute. I have him pegged for 37.7. So I like both these guys. I have DeMar pegged as a 5.76 value and DeJounte Murray as a 5.8 value. Rudy Gay actually doesn't look too bad on the
No, he
sheet, Matt.
doesn't.
Neither does Patty Mills. Rudy Gay gets a 1% usage bump, 1.07 fantasy point per minute off the bench. So I don't hate him as a punt play at 4,600. And then Patty Mills at 4,400 projected for 27 minutes, 2.5% usage bump, 0.96 fantasy point per minute off the bench. I actually have him pegged for 26.6 DraftKings points. So I like him and Rudy Gay more as pump plays. A lot of people are going to Rudy Gay in tournaments. In cash, Matt. I have him at 24%, which is a lot higher than I had anticipated.
I have him at 18. So yeah.
Okay, so 20-ish%. So I don't hate him as the last piece. I don't know if I'll go there, but it makes sense. He looks good on the sheet, as is Patty Mills and Lonnie Walker. He's just so cheap at 3,600.
So
if he
cheap.
starts, I don't hate him. He had a really low fantasy point per minute with Derek White and Aldridge off the floor, so I really didn't put too much stock into it as a 0.51, which I don't think Lonnie Walker's a 0.51 fantasy point per minute type of guy. So I'm going to use more of the eye test. If he starts and plays like 28 to 30 minutes at 3,600, I don't hate him. He is currently a 0.73 fantasy point per minute on the year. So if we input that into our sheet and not that abysmal 0.5, we'll call it 0.7. Yeah, I would have him pegged for 18.75 DraftKings points. So a lot of people going to him as a last piece. I don't hate it either. I'm looking at DeMar and DeJounte Murray, though, again. Two guys that I feel like I've liked for the last week now, especially with Aldridge.
Right.
So.
And keep in mind, it is a pace-up spot. We saw what they did last night, so expect something similar to that. Not saying they're going to do as well, but they definitely could. DeJounte Murray, $6,500, is the chalkiest guy on this team. And I also agree with you with Lonnie Walker. If he doesn't start, I'm going to be very hesitant on him, just with him coming back from a quote-unquote stomach virus. Don't know what that is or what's going on there. But if he does start, then I'm going to assume he's going to be full strength. TJ, I'm going to play close to 30 minutes. He definitely could. 5.6 point per dollar value, and then like you said, Rudy Gay also in the mix. If Lonnie Walker doesn't start, I would only think that Rudy Gay should get a slight bump in some minutes. So I do like him. I would like him even more if Lonnie Walker doesn't start. Projected right now at 25 minutes and a 5.8 point per dollar value. What's going on, Sano? And
Matt,
that,
so yeah, you just saw it?
Go ahead.
Oh, just kidding, you didn't. DV8 said it's an exhibition tonight.
Oh yeah, no, I did see that. Yep.
And it's only the stage winners that were invited. Okay, Zexter, thank you, man.
Awesome.
Only the stage winners. It makes sense.
All right, let's move on, TJ. I guess. Okay.
Fierce, we always wanted. Go ahead.
I guess we should move on here. Further down the list, where do you want to go? We have a lot of different places we could go. We could go to Houston.
Ooh, shoot.
We could
let's
go
to Houston.
Okay, let's do it. Houston, without the normal injuries here, Christian Wood, Dante Exum, and Oladipo are still out for these guys. So who do you like from this roster?
A lot of guys are popping on the sheet, Matt, to be honest. I do like this matchup against the Pelicans. I do think we have some. Oh, hold on. We just got some Pistons. Excuse me.
There we go. That's what we're waiting for.
Dennis Smith will not make his debut, which is what we thought. My Twitter's taking so long. I have no space on my phone, so my phone is so slow. Wayne Ellington.
Oh, well, that's why the jock market's been lagging for you.
No, I don't think it is. I'm gonna try my work phone tonight for jock market because that's literally. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. DeLon Wright's gonna play, as is Wayne Ellington. And Dennis Smith Jr. won't make. Okay, so I got to go back and do Pistons. But yeah, Houston, Matt. I do like this matchup, obviously, against the Pels. They are carrying a lot of ownership, some of these guys, mostly Boogie, John Wall, and Eric Gordon. I would probably say that John Wall is my favorite play here. 5% usage rate with those guys off the floor, like you talked about, 1.28 fantasy point per minute, 35% usage rate in totality. I have him pegged for 43 DraftKings points at 7,300. So if this game, total. That's adding the usage bump plus his already usage rate. You know what that means? Okay.
Yes.
43 DraftKings points, what I have him pegged for at 7,300. So I do like him in this matchup against the Pelicans as long as they can stay competitive. They are 6.5 point road dogs. Boogie at 7,400. I don't hate him. Honestly, 2.1% usage bump, 1.39 fantasy point per minute. And then Eric Gordon, Matt, actually looks the best on the sheet, technically. 3.3% usage bump, 1.1 fantasy point per minute, 28.3% usage rate. 37.5 DraftKings points is what I have him pegged for. I mean, Tate looks pretty good. Daniel House looks pretty good. Nwaba looks really good on the sheet. Sterling Brown carrying some ownership again at 3,200. Look good off the bench. So yeah, I have a lot of interest here in Houston. If I'm going anywhere in cash, I'm probably taking John Wall. I wouldn't be surprised if I landed on Boogie again at 7,400. But I do have a lot of interest.
He'll do exactly what he did last night, though, TJ.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
He will. Yep. He'll only get 27.5 and play 25 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, it's very funny what happens in DFS because right now he's only showing 23.1%. Pretty sure he was double last night, and he went up $300.
Yeah, he was
so
like 70%.
so why do you guys hate DeMarcus Cousins all of a sudden? I don't. Whatever. But take advantage of it. The lower ownership, TJ. I don't think he's a cash must, but I do think he's cash viable at this point just because of the ownership.
I agree.
John Wall, like you said, I think he is the best play at $7,300. It's funny because that price tag should scare off a lot of people, and it definitely could, but it's not going to scare off us because of his minute projection or his fantasy point per minute projection right now, 1.28 fantasy points per minute. And then, like you said, Eric Gordon, yeah, definitely like him at $6,200. Looking for somebody to fill that void of Oladipo. I think that's the next guy in line here is Eric Gordon, so I do like him there. And then, yeah, all these guys, all these role players from the Houston Rockets. I feel like we always don't know what to do with these guys. It's always Tate Tucker, House, Sterling Brown, Nwaba, even McLemore stepping into the mix last night. We don't know who's going to step up ever. So any one of these guys are good GBP options, but they all play relatively good minutes, and they're all in that 4K price range, which makes them very easy to get into your lineup. So I do like them for value plays, and I like them for low ownership for GBPs.
I agree with you.
All right. So Mike Conley's also out for Utah. Do you want to move on to there, or do you want to talk about Boston while we're there too? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's talk about Utah. So without Conley, TJ, who are you looking at for this roster? Are you still are you going to be a fan of Rudy Gobert against Tice tonight?
I am, and I'm yeah, I think I am. Hold on, let me just pull up. I was looking at something else. So I do like Rudy. 7,200, Matt. I think that is very cheap going up against TT and Tice. Obviously down low, 1.8 usage bump without Mitch. Without Conley, excuse me. I'm all rattled. 1.39 fantasy point per minute. I have him pegged for 42.45 DraftKings points. I think the guy that I'm going to go to is Donovan Mitchell at 8,100. We saw how much of a monster he was last game with Mike Conley off the floor, Matt. He played 39 minutes in a competitive game against the Pacers where Utah only put up 103 points. Donovan Mitchell played, like I said, almost 39 minutes, looked really good. He only shot 9 of 27 and still hit 58 DraftKings points. He had a 37.25 usage rate. So I do like Mitchell at 8,100. I do think he's a little bit on the cheaper side. He's not showing too high of ownership, so I don't think you necessarily need him for cash, but I don't hate him as a last piece at 8,100, honestly. Tough matchup against the Celtics, but no Marcus Smart. Probably going to get marked by I would assume Jaylen Brown if he plays. But yeah, I do have some interest there in Donovan Mitchell. I mean, if Kemba marks Donovan Mitchell, then tip of the cap to Mitchell. He could have an absolute field day on Kemba. So yeah. I do like him at 8,100. I do like Gobert at 7,200 as well. I'll have some interest in Clarkson. I'll have some interest in Bogdy, but I think the two guys that I'm really honing in on are going to be Gobert and Mitchell.
Yep, completely agree with everything you just said. Do you have any love for Ingles based on what he did? I remember last time he was very high owned and very good cash option. Do you have any interest there?
Yep. Not really. His price is coming up a little bit too much. He's all the way up to 50. Yeah, I liked him more sub K, or even last game when he was 5,300. At 5,800. Just doesn't really tickle my fancy. I have him for 29.5 DraftKings points. So if I were to take Ingles, it would be a tournament play tonight.
Got it. All right. Do you want to move on to your Boston Celtics? Right now, Jaylen Brown is questionable, but Marcus Smart is out. Do you have any interest in your team?
So yeah, if JB plays at 7,500, that's way too cheap for me. So I do like him. He gets a 0.3 of a usage bump with Smart off the floor, 1.25 fantasy point per minute. 31% usage rate. I would have him pegged for 43.9 DraftKings points. So I have interest in JB. I have interest in Tatum, and I would honestly have interest in Kemba at 6,600. More tournament plays here for me, but if JB does play, I would see him carrying some ownership. So again, like Mitchell, I wouldn't hate him as a last piece at 7,500. I think that price tag is too cheap for him if he's healthy.
Yeah, completely agree with you. But all GBP options here just because of the matchup. It's a 220, two good defensive teams, and should be a good overall matchup. But Utah should also smoke these guys. They're trash. 6 point favorites right now. Let's move on. Let's go to. Do you want to go to Brooklyn and Detroit? Because actually, Brooklyn is without Kevin Durant. So if we can talk about that real quick, TJ. Kyrie Irving only $9,300. 37 minutes is what he's projected at right now. 5.6 point per dollar value on our sheet right now. What are your thoughts? What's your take? I think I already know what you're gonna say on James Harden and Kyrie Irving.
What do you think I'm going to say? I want to hear it before I say it.
James Harden. You're always on the James Harden train.
Yeah, I am always on the James Harden train when KD's out. I'm not really in love with these guys, Matt. But if I had to take one, yeah, I'd probably go to James. I do like that price tag on Kyrie at 93, playing 37 minutes. If this game
TJ,
gets
if you could real quick pull your mic closer to your face, it's like cutting out occasionally. There you go. Yeah, good.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear. It was just cutting out occasionally.
So yeah, no, I do like Harden. I do like Kyrie. Guys that are carrying some ownership, Matt, with KD off the floor. We're looking at Harden that gets a 1% usage bump, 1.44 fantasy point per minute. And then we have Kyrie, who gets a 3.5% usage bump and a 1.26 fantasy point per minute. So I do like both these guys. The Kyrie price tag is really cheap, Matt, at 9,300. They are 7-point road favorites against a somewhat depleted Detroit team. But yeah, I think this game is going to be competitive without Kyrie there. I mean, without KD there. Jeff Green at 5,300 is interesting as well, Matt. Currently showing 34 minutes. He's a 3.8% usage bump with KD off the floor. And LeVert and Jared Allen, 0.84 fantasy point per minute. He's been giving them some good minutes here down low. So I do like Jeff Green, more of a tournament play. But yeah, I think my interest lies solely in Harden and Kyrie.
Yeah, I again disagree with you. I think Kyrie Irving's going to be the better play just because of his price tag. But I do like James Harden. One of these two should have a ceiling game, and it's strictly because of the price tag and the amount of shooting, the amount of shots that Kyrie Irving has had once he's played with these superstars, just been tremendous. Like 16, 20, 23, 12 in his past 4 games. So obviously love that. James Harden just hasn't been the same usage guy that we've seen when he was in Houston, but he still has been streaming along a couple good games here on the past 5 games. So again, I think it's more of a toss-up, but if you're asking which one I prefer, TJ, it's going to be Kyrie Irving, but I feel like we always have this stance, me and you, and it's always just a toss-up. So
yeah,
okay, but we're allowed to disagree. Let's move on. Do you want to move on to Detroit and talk about what we know, or do you want to still hold off?
Yeah, let me if you have everything, you can go ahead. I'm going to do it now.
Oh, I don't have anything.
For Detroit?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you got to give me a second.
I was going to calculate. So do we know officially who's playing for them?
Yep,
so okay.
Wayne Ellington's good. DeLon Wright is good. So we don't have Killian Hayes, obviously. No Frank Jackson.
Okay,
no Okafor, and then Dennis Smith Jr. will not be making his.
All right, well then let's calculate here both together
we
right
gotta
now.
Make sure you take Derrick Rose off in the bottom because he is.
That's not the
smell
right.
you later. Killian Hayes, you are out. We'll be seeing you, Killian.
There we go.
We have Frank Jackson. We have Ja, and we have Dennis Smith Jr. You don't matter because you played. So let's see here, Matt. We got a really healthy sample size here. Is this just this year? Yeah. Okay. So we got Jeremy Grant, DeLon Wright, Plum, Mason.
I almost forgot about Rose being gone.
Yep.
Poor Rose.
Thibodeau's getting the band back together. They're gonna go after Jimmy now.
One bad team to the next.
Yeah, right. He thrives with Tib. Let's see here.
The Knicks, dude. The Knicks. Really? All right, let's run this.
Josh Jackson. I have Josh. Oh, okay. Blake. How you doing, Blake? Poor Blake, huh? All right, so yeah, Jeremy Grant's gonna be my guy.
We're getting a lot of questions in the chat about DeMarcus Cousins' ceiling, and it looks like it sparked a conversation, more of a debate or an argument. Let's see what Cousins' ceiling is based on previous performances. Ceiling is 68.2. Don't know why that's making a lot of you guys mad, but that's what we have right now. If that's what Fantasy Cruncher has, so that's what the ceiling is.
Matt, if it makes you any better, Roto has DeMarcus Cousins, or DeMarcus's. There's multiple DeMarcus's. There's plural of him. They have Boogie at 63.58. So in that same realm, we'll call it 65 would be Boogie's ceiling.
65 is good.
That is a ceiling, guys. That's not his floor. That is his ceiling.
I wish that was his floor. He'd be a cash lock if that was his floor.
His floor is 24.95.
All right, calculating. So we have Jeremy Grant at 1.17 fantasy points per minute. We have Josh Jackson at 1.09. Those are the two highest guys in terms of usage. TJ, are you getting that similar type output?
Who was it, Matt?
Jeremy Grant, 1.17 fantasy points per minute, and Josh Jackson, 1.09. All right. Yep. So let's move that over to the board here. Jeremy Grant projected 35 minutes.
Yeah, it would be Jeremy Grant for me, Matt, at 7K projected 35 minutes in a really good matchup against Brooklyn. 6.5 point home dogs. So I do like this type of matchup against Brooklyn, who is just terrible defensively, obviously. So Jeremy Grant at a 1.17 fantasy point per minute, 27% usage rate, have him pegged for 41 DraftKings points. Only at 7K, going to carry a lot of ownership tonight, and makes sense to me. I do like him in this matchup against Brooklyn. He would be the guy that I would be going to. Man, I want to make a case for Blake Griffin at 5K because it's just so cheap, and I don't know if I can trust him. I'm going to take some stabs on him in tournaments. I'll also take some stabs on Mason Plumlee and DeLon Wright. But besides that, I don't really have too much interest here in Detroit. But Jeremy Grant, I think, is 100% cash viable if you want to go there.
Yeah, now keep in mind, this over-under did start at 232, has gone down 3 points. Right now, Brooklyn 6 points favorites, like you said. Should be competitive. That's so weird to sit here and say they're only 6 point favorites versus Detroit. But Brooklyn has stunk it up recently. So, and they're without Kevin Durant. Like you had alluded to, I think Jeremy Grant's probably the only guy I'm going to be considering because, TJ, if they're going to keep it close, it's going to be because of Jeremy Grant. And he's only 7K. He passes the eye test. He's gotten up pretty expensive here. Got up to $8,400. That is just crazy. Went all the way back down to 7K, and probably the best matchup you'll see all season long. So I do like him here and this matchup, and I think that's the only guy I'm considering for cash as well.
Detroit, Matt, currently playing at the 4th fastest pace in the 6th worst defensive efficient team.
That is crazy.
So they like to get up and down the floor, man, with as minimal defense as possible.
Yep. All right, TJ, did we cover all the cash, or do we want to go anywhere else? I guess Golden State is showing some ownership if you want to go there.
Talked about Orlando. We talked about Houston. We just talked about Detroit. We talked about your Spurs without Aldridge and Derek White. Yeah, I mean, Golden State's going to be really interesting because of Draymond. Draymond was recently added to the injury report and questionable because of his knee. So if he sits, it's going to open up a ton of value.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
So JTA, Oubre, Wiggins, even Steph. So what I'm going to do, Matt, real quick is let's play the hypothetical game. Let's play what if. Let's play what if Draymond Green is out. I love that game. So we would have no. Go ahead.
Usually when a player, guys, for anybody who's new, is added to the injury report this late, that usually doesn't mean that they're going to play. Usually when they're added this late, they wouldn't add a guy and make him questionable if he should play. So
we'd have a super small sample size for Steph and JTA, which kind of stinks. So I'm going to check out Wiggins. I'm going to check out Oubre. And I'll check out Pascal, and I'll bump Pascal's minutes up a little bit. He's projected at 15 right now. I'll say 24 if Draymond sits. So Wiggins is a point. Oh, I don't know why I thought Wiggins would be a 1 point something fantasy point per minute.
I don't think he's ever been that.
Yeah. So Draymond. Nothing really changes, honestly. I think Oubre would be my play here if Draymond does sit, and he is carrying some chip already. I don't. It's a really good matchup against the Spurs. We saw it last night. Should be competitive again tonight. But if Draymond sits, Matt, it's who's going to get those minutes? I think Oubre plays a little more. He's projected 33. Wouldn't be surprised if he played 37, 38. Same thing with Wiggins, currently projected at 33. JTA would see a little uptick. I think Pascal would see probably the most uptick at 4,100. So I think he would be an interesting play. Played last night. He'd missed the last 2 games. Played against the Spurs last night. Only played 13-ish minutes. So I would assume he'd play 20 plus. I think Bazemore would come into the picture there at 4K. They don't really have too many bodies, and especially big bodies without Looney and Wiseman. So if Draymond does sit, maybe Jakob Poeltl in tournaments, Matt. I don't really think they're going to have anybody to bang down low with him. So maybe take advantage there. Some of the bigs for the Spurs going up against Golden State with literally nobody to play the 5. So yeah, it's something we have to keep an eye on, and I think you can plan in tournaments. Try and have some lineups where if Draymond sits, you have some ability to pivot here because, he's been great these last couple games for them. So if he sits, that's really big.
Yeah, no, definitely. I do like some of the value plays, specifically at Pascal. Pascal, get ready for a chalk bust night. We already saw it in the chat. Yeah, no, he's averaging 0.96 fantasy points per minute. And if he does play without Draymond, I think we can expect at least 25 minutes, TJ. I think that presents some nice value.
I put him for 24, yeah.
Okay, yeah, 24, 25 minutes. JTA, another option. Right now projected at 29 minutes. You'd think his minutes would only go up as well. A very efficient player when he plays. not necessarily saying he's the best, but he is efficient fantasy point per minute wise, so I do like him as well. So yeah, I agree with absolutely everything you just said. Jakob Hurtle, don't know if I agree with that just because he's also trash, but hey, it's battle of the trash plays. Man. Yeah.
How many offensive rebounds would he have tonight? Him, Drew Eubanks off the bench. Man, the Spurs bigs could have a field day.
They could, and throw DeMar DeRozan in the mix too.
Happen, though. Yeah, I love DeMar.
Oh right. So
all right.
Now what? Now what do you want to break down? Do we go straight to GPPs and then questions?
So we talked about Detroit and Brooklyn. There isn't too much ownership coming from that Knicks and Miami game. There is some with Jimmy Butler at 80. We do like, Matt. We talked about him briefly.
Like Jimmy Butler, yep.
Rates out really well. He's somebody that doesn't need to shoot and shoot well in order to hit value. And we've seen that over the last 3 games. He hasn't taken more than 11 shots. I just shot 3 of 11 against the Knicks on Sunday and still hit for 44.5 DraftKings points because he's such a good rebounder and such a good facilitator. And I think it helps that Hero isn't alongside him now coming off the bench. So not as many minutes. So more usage there for Jimmy Butler as well. So I do like him at 8,300. If you're landing on him in cash, I don't hate it. We talked about Houston. We didn't talk about the Pelicans, Matt, on the other side of the ball going up against Houston. Like, any interest there? Because this could be a decent matchup for them. And there's somebody carrying some ownership here in Willie Hernan-Gomez, who's been getting some time for the Pelicans off the bench. And I think if this game does potentially blow out, which I wouldn't expect it to, but he's showing at 3,500, 18 minutes. Like, this is a game where he could play maybe like 24-ish minutes. So I do like him for like a tournament upside. I don't think I'd go there in cash at all. Lonzo at 6,300 carrying some ownership too. I don't hate him. I like the matchup against Houston, and he's been playing well these last couple games. So I do like Lonzo, but again, probably more of a tournament play for me there. We talked about Golden State and the Spurs. We talked about Orlando. Let's go to tournaments.
Okay. One last game too that I want to talk about: Philly versus Sacramento. In terms of
tournaments.
In terms of GPP, I said Danny Green is a great play. We like to take volume shooters, TJ, and high over unders. Well, this is exactly what that is. Right now, he's projected at 27 minutes. I feel like anytime Danny Green's in the high over under, he always explodes. Well, this is another game showing 12.4% ownership right now. Seth Curry throw into the mix as well, $4,200, 28 minutes. Love both of those guys. They're probably my favorite GPP options on the entire slate for value plays, TJ, just because Sacramento plays no defense whatsoever. We know that. Throw Joel Embiid, throw all these guys into the mix, but those are my 2 favorite value plays from that team. Portland,
Sacramento last in defensive efficiency.
Oh yeah, not surprising there. They are absolutely horrible.
Seventh in offensive efficiency too.
Yeah. Portland, another good play. Damian Lillard, 10K, is coming down in price finally. Projected in 30 minutes. If this game does stay competitive, well, it's going to be because of Damian Lillard. They are projected to win by 6 points, so it should stay competitive.
It's going to be because of Harry Giles. You know that. It
should be because of Harry Giles, too.
Come on.
Another great play.
Harry Giles coming off the bench, just banging down low.
Yeah. Yep, another good GPP option from TJ, Harry Giles, right? New York Knicks have some good plays, as always. And when I mean plays, I mean play. With Julius Randle always showing low ownership and a not-so-good matchup. 37 minutes.
That's never funny, and that was actually funny. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
7.2% ownership. This dude is just... He's crazy. He's so good. At 9.1K, should easily hit value right now. At 46 points, he has to hit value. Has hit that in the past 4 out of 5 games. So I definitely like Julius Randle as yet another option. I feel like we covered all the GPP options. I will say I think Kyrie Irving's going to be one of my favorite GPP options on the slate next to the Philly guys. But those are my favorite GPP options, TJ.
Love it, Matt. I love all of them. Love everybody you talked about. A lot of good GPPs from Matt right there, guys. So make sure you take some notes. Matt, I would argue the other side of the ball there with the Knicks and Randall. Bam showing $8,700. I really do like him for tournaments, showing really low ownership.
I didn't realize he was that cheap. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, 8,700. I do like Bam. I got my eye on him. I agree with that Sacramento and Philly type stack there for tournaments. Joel Embiid down low, and then a guy like Darren Fox on the other side of the ball, both of them showing pretty low ownership. So I wouldn't mind taking some stabs there. Fox up to 8,800. So I honestly, I think he deserves that price tag. Don't
I put it out there. I put it out there in the world.
I wish Marvin Bagley played some minutes, man. He just hasn't been playing a lot of minutes lately.
And you hate Halliburton, so do you like Halliburton today?
I don't hate Halliburton. I hated him last week because I played him in season long, and he absolutely put dirt, and I lost by like 80 points. It was because Halliburton's a wagon. Rockets will start Wall, Gordon, Tate, Tucker, and Cousins.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Cousins and Zion do down low, TJ. I'm really curious to see how that goes. I guess it's more Steven Adams, but Zion has to go through Boogie at some point. So
yeah. Portland 2 Matt Dame, you talked about it, low ownership there, or kind of low ownership, and at 10K, I do like him for tournaments as well. Ronnie Hood's kind of staring at me a little bit at 4,300 if he starts. I don't hate him. Yeah, I agree with you on all those tournament plays. I'm just trying to think of some other ones. Did you talk about Embiid?
I did. Yep.
Okay, because Embiid's showing very. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you. Matt, Steph's only showing 3,300.
Yeah, Steph's a great play.
3.3% usage. So I do like Steph because he's north of 10K. So people are scared off of him. Tatum at 1% owned at 9,200. Like, sign me up for that. With or without JB, you talked about Randall. I like. We talked about Fox. We talked about Bam. That ownership at 8,700. Crazy.
You love Miami tonight for GPPs, and I don't disagree.
For GPP's, yeah, I do. Yeah. Tobias 1% ownership, like Canner 3% ownership going down low with Vooch. Like Canner could have a field day at 7,500. Yeah, there's a lot of good plays tonight.
Yep. Let's move on to cash options, TJ, just because we're getting very late into the time here. So let's go straight to questions, and then we'll bring it all together and go over our cash core. I think that's the way we should do it. Also, guys, we're at 320 viewers, so I didn't expect that. It's a Tuesday, so let's keep it going. Hit that like button. If you guys hit that like button and keep it up, it increases our search results to get us to the top of the board.
Likes, I give out $20.
If we get to 380 viewers, that will break the all-time record for the most viewers concurrent viewers that we've ever had. I think I said that right.
Concurrent.
I don't think that's right.
No, it's concurrent. I was just being a dick.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the Discord questions, TJ, and if you can get to the YouTube questions.
Yep, I'll get to the tube. Should I chime in on this Boogie debate that we had? I'm gonna let it go to the side.
Yeah, it was quite heated at one point.
Yeah, you guys were going after it a little. I like it, dude. A little feistiness. Yeah. Everybody has their opinions on Boogie. I mean, Boogie's a baller. He's a badass. Like, yeah, everybody's got their opinions.
All right, Spore, chill with the spamming the same question. What do you guys think of Ingles at 4,500 on FanDuel compared to DK price? Yeah, $4,500. That's crazy. If he's actually that cheap, Ingles $4,500.
That is cheap.
That is very cheep. Would that be a cash lock? I would say yes. I had to look at the other price tags, but Ingles at $4,500 is very cheap. Is Canner a good play versus Vooch, TJ? You said for GPPs, correct?
Tournaments, yeah, not for cash, but tournaments. Yep. Okay. I do like it.
Need a forward or shooting guard last piece, $5,800, TJ. Let's take a look.
Forward or what?
Shooting guard.
At 5,800?
Yep.
Why a forward or shooting guard? So I'm assuming, is it your util? Because I'm confused. At 5,800, I hate that range.
I do too.
I hate that range.
I don't see anything. Ingles.
I guess I'd say Ingles or Josh Jackson.
Yeah. I say Ingles.
I'm worried about. Yeah, I would be worried about the Josh Jackson minutes, but I'm at 22, man. I don't think he plays 22. I think he plays that.
I'm sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
Josh Jackson. What do you have him right now projected at in terms of minutes?
Let's take a look. Josh Jackson at 27 minutes. So,
okay, I had 22. Yeah, that seems super low. Okay.
Yeah, I still like Ingles more though, just because of minutes.
Okay.
I keep falling on Favors, who has hit value in 6 of his last 7 games. Doesn't that sound like Favors? He was always just so sneaky.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned him when I was giving you shit about Gobert, and Gobert still hit value. But yeah, Favors has been great off the bench for Utah.
Yeah, do you like him?
Against Boston too? Yeah, great matchup against the Celtics. They don't really have anybody down low to. They got TT, and it's like there's no difference between him and Ty. So yeah, no, I like Favors there as a punt tournament play if you want to go there against the Celtics.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Cash, DeJounte, Lonnie, Sterling Brown, Jeremy Grant, Vooch, Kyrie, Griffin, Oubre. You have a little bit low owned guys in there. Like Kyrie's actually not carrying ownership, so I don't mind it. I don't mind the build, but I think it's more GPP. TJ,
GPP, yeah.
Let's hear your questions.
All right, let's see. Green Wizard came in and said Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm assuming Matt. People getting notifications the first time. Let's go. We figured it out. We got a lineup here. Matt, great call on Middleton last night. That was all Matt. 7,500. I think it helped that Drew was out, but yes, it was a fantastic call by Matt. What else do we have? Morph said, I'd like to take a moment to remind everybody that the San Antonio Spurs have a better record than the Brooklyn Nets currently.
So the side roast?
We got a lineup here, Matt. From what I'm gonna call him what? Murray, Mitchell, Bacon, Grant, Vooch, Wall, Lonnie Walker, and Favors. I don't hate it.
That's for cash.
Favors for cash though. I don't know. We just talked about him. It's a good matchup against Celtics, so I don't hate it. Blake Griffin, LOL, said Gil. Yeah, 5K. What's up with Blake? Blake's gonna have a monster game coming up soon where he goes for 40 plus. Another lineup now. I'm assuming it's DraftKings. Dame, Duncan Robinson, Danny Green, Grant, Gobert, DeJounte Murray, Ennis, and Wall. I don't hate that if it's tournaments. Not if it's cash. Hi, fellas. Hi, Sino. What teams have the highest over/under tonight, Matt?
We have a couple close ones.
Go ahead.
Sacramento and Philly is actually the highest, hence the reason we like them for GPPs, 231.5. San Antonio, Golden State second, and then Brooklyn, Detroit at 229.
Yeah, Detroit. Ooh, Derrick Rose actually available to me.
Yeah, I saw
tonight. That. Nicholas Nip said, morning, fellas. Good morning, Nicholas. Wright and Ellington will play. Yes, thank you, Gil. Guys, can I earn real money playing for NBA fantasy leagues? Boy, I think you can. Boogie, easy fade, said Ryan. Oh, okay, that was when the debacle happened. Zion is going to obliterate the Rockets. I do like Zion for tournaments. Yeah, I'm going to be overweight on him, I can tell you that. I got to get through. Oh, this was a battle
330 viewers, guys. Smash that like button.
337, yep. Detroit smacking Brooklyn tonight, said Sano. Okay, torn between JTA or Rudy Gay. Please help. I really like JTA especially if Draymond is out. I think I would still probably lean him over Rudy Gay. I'll take the minutes. Brooklyn OT again. It's a possibility against Detroit, man. Brooklyn 7-point road favorites. Detroit could stay competitive. Josh Jackson. I do like Josh Jackson, Logan. Grant fine for GPP2. Yes, Mr. Bank. I think you can go there for tournaments as well. What do you consider a large GPP, Matt?
A large GPP, I consider anything over 1,000 people. Personally. Anything I consider medium contest from 101 to 999, and then anything below 100 is small GPPs for me. I get that question a lot, which is why I broke it down. What's up?
Okay. Okay to fade both Harden and Kyrie on FanDuel. I don't know the FanDuel prices.
Yes.
If we're looking at Brooklyn here, we have where is it? Where's the difference? So we would no, I'm at the wrong oppositions. We have Harden's 10-8 and then Kyrie's 9-1.
On FanDuel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, you
Kyrie's
can fade them.
95 and Harden's 11.
Do they have ownership over there?
No. Okay. Not that I have. DK Cash thoughts. DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, Sterling Brown, Grant, Boogie, Cole Anthony, JB, and Vooch. I don't hate that, Mark. I don't hate that. You got a lot of guys that are carrying some ownership too. So I'm on board with that. Jackson and Grant still a cash play. I prefer Grant, but yeah, I think Josh Jackson is going to be a decent play too. So I do like that. Even at 5,700, I like the matchup against Brooklyn, and they're going to need him, man. So yes, I can get behind Josh Jackson. DeRozan going to get popped. Okay. Embiid or Lillard for cash.
You guys hate DeRozan. I hate you.
I think I'd go Dame. Okay. Man, love you guys. Wouldn't be a decent DFS player if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you, Danny. Man. I have to read that.
Appreciate that.
Just talking us up. Appreciate that, Danny. Matt, we got a tournament lineup here. We got Murray, Mitchell, Bacon, Grant, Vooch, Lonnie Walker, Rudy Gay, and Gobert. I like that. I like the Mitchell play. I think one of those cheap guys for Orlando is going to be efficient. Could be Bacon, could be Ennis. I would like Bacon though because I'm hungry. Any love for Harrison Barnes as a potential run back with these Philly guys? I like it, Tim. I like that idea too. If you're gonna put a couple guys from Philly to obviously run it back with somebody from Sacramento. So I can get behind Barnes. I can get behind Fox. Kind of like Buddy Hield, but I'm not gonna say that out loud. Bacon, Seth Green, or Danny Green, Matt. I think you're gonna lean Danny Green.
I do like Danny Green tonight. Yep.
Okay. Okay to play Seth Curry and Danny Green in the same lineup for tournaments.
I don't mind it.
They're both cheap enough to do it.
They are. Yep.
I think I prefer Danny Green too. So that means Seth Curry was going to erupt for 40 DraftKings points. We
Yes.
got another lineup here. Lillard, Anthony, Clarkson, Lonnie Walker, Grant, JTA, Zion, Covington, and Vooch. That is definitely FanDuel.
That is very contrarian.
Yes, you got Clarkson in there, Cole Anthony, you got Covington. You do have some chalk there, but I do like that for tournaments. I wouldn't go there in cash. Cash core Hudson, we will get to that. Are we going to answer Spore, Matt? He was absolutely hammering us asking
Yeah,
about Josh
let's
Jackson or
answer it.
Ellington for today. Okay.
Yeah, let's be nice.
Josh Jackson or Ellington for today?
Josh Jackson.
Yeah, I think I go Josh Jackson too.
Yeah.
$1,000 more, but I think I go Josh Jackson too. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. We got a cash lineup here, Matt. We got DeJounte, Donovan Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins, Jeremy Grant, Vooch, Lonnie Walker, Sterling Brown, and Kelly Oubre. I like that, Bradley. Nice little mid-tier there.
Go ahead.
Go back to the well with DeJounte. Scored 65 FanDuel. Yeah, he had 8 steals, Louis. We talked about that. I think he's in a good spot still with Lonnie Walker. Excuse me, with Derek White and LaMarcus Aldridge being out. Him and DeMar are our 2 favorite plays there from the Spurs still. Wall or Murray? I like Wall. Josh, support me answer that.
I wanted to roast Kuzma last night to see how he did, but he ended up doing well, so I can't roast him.
Yeah, he did do well. Yeah,
Dang
for 35. Griffin or Anderson? I'd probably go JTA. I can't trust Blake. Can't trust him. How do you misspell Ellington 5 times? Spore kept spamming about Ellington. He misspelled it.
He's copying and pasting. That's why.
It was just one guy in chat hating on Cousin. Oh, thank you, Morph. Also, thoughts on DeLon Wright. I like DeLon Wright. He's going to play a ton of minutes because they don't have anybody else to handle the ball. So I do like him. Curry or Embiid, Curry and Embiid in cash. That's going to be very contrarian, Christian, but I do think they're in a good spot. So if you want to go there and you can make that lineup work, I don't hate it. I have some more interest there in like the mid-tier range with John Wall and Vooch. But if you like a build with Curry and Embiid and you're stacking with some cheaper guys with, Sterling Brown, JTA, I'm trying to think of who else, Lonnie Walker. If you have a lineup that you're confident in, like, I don't hate it.
Real quick, guys, we're at 335 right now. The all-time record is 380. If we can get to that $25 giveaway, I'm really hopeful, and hopefully we can stay on long enough to make it happen. But we only got 5 more minutes, so let's make it happen. Hit that like button, guys.
Matt, is my internet trash?
Yes.
Guys, I have Xfinity. Like, I pay $100 a month for whatever shit we have. TJ said next time TJ wins big, dude, better buy some legit internet. Not this Taco Bell internet.
Do you know what's really funny, TJ? As you were saying that, you cut out. That was hilarious.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know right now.
Oh God, I don't know. Okay, I don't think it's my internet. It must be my controller, or like, is it this? Like, I don't know what it is. Can you hear me? Am I cutting out?
No,
okay,
I can hear you now.
Jeff Green, a worthy play. I don't hate him as a last piece. Cash plays as of now. Sports Junkie, we'll get to that. Rose is playing. Thank you. No interest really there for me for Derrick Rose. Who knows, though? Opening night. Oubre of Gordon. Oubre or Gordon for cash. I think I go Oubre. Especially if Draymond's out. Man, I do like me some Eric Gordon tonight, but give me Oubre. What projected for Jeff Green with Durant out? Jeff Green is projected at 34 minutes right now at 5,300. I have him pegged for 29.65 DraftKings points, which is something he actually hasn't done in 4 games, and that was against Washington. So
he's trash.
Yeah, I tread lightly. It shows that he's in a good spot, but Bam or Vooch for tournaments? Bam. Just got home from work, so I missed the stream, but I'm a Patreon member. Well worth it, said Waylon. Thank you, Waylon.
Thanks,
appreciate
Waylon.
that. Best games to target when playing FanDuel. I would target the high over-unders. Houston and the Pelicans, Golden State and the Spurs, and then Philly and Sacramento. Did I get roasted again?
Yeah.
TJ, you're not supposed to use your controller as a modem. No wonder you're more if you sell chips for better Wi-Fi. Slothy, I can't do that. Chips, come here, my boy. Chips is sleeping in the corner. He heard me. He's got the hiccups right now. Look at him, Amanda. He's sitting on a towel right now, just hiccuping. TJ, you're so hot. Nicholas, thank you, man. I'm growing out the beard. I think it's really paying wonders to my manly features here. Embiid, Mitchell, and Zion spend ups for tournaments. I like it. I really like Donovan Mitchell, so he's gonna suck tonight. A tough matchup, obviously, against the Celtics, but I still do like him. No Marcus Smart there, so I think Donovan Mitchell can still get it done. Is Sterling Brown going to get minutes? I hope so, Tommy.
Got a couple questions here.
Go ahead, Matt. Hit him.
Wall, Sterling Brown, Oubre, Grant, Gobert, Murray, Rudy Gay, Cousins for cash. I actually like that lineup. I really do. DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Jeremy Grant, Vooch, Lonnie Walker, Sterling Brown, Oubre, Andrew Wiggins. That's for cash. I don't mind that one too. And GPP, could you fade Irving and Harden? If so, what are good lower owned options to go to? So in big GPPs, it's funny because we say this every single time, TJ. One of these guys from Brooklyn usually appears in the optimal, and it's just a matter of picking which one. Because there's only 2 of them, it's a lot better of a chance for you to choose the right one. So yeah, I do think one of these guys will make the optimal. That being said, James Harden has a higher ceiling, TJ. But value-wise, I do like Kyrie Irving. Both those guys have a high ceiling in general. So I do think you need to have them if you're playing big GPPs. But if you are not, then yes, some good lower-owned options. I do like Joel Embiid, TJ. Another guy in that similar price range. I do like Julius Randle for GPPs. And also Steph Curry.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Yep.
I didn't know you still had them.
Lonnie, guys, we are 30 people away. Keep it going. Lonnie Walker, Sterling Brown, John Wall, Grant, Vooch, DeJounte Murray, Oubre, Gobert. I'm pretty sure we saw that exact same lineup. Trent, you are always coming with the fire. Love that lineup. Wall, Walker, Grant, Oubre, Vooch, Murray, Bacon, Gordon. Yeah, I don't mind that one either. I do think that's more GPP just because Gordon's going to be lower owned. And I don't think Bacon's carrying as much ownership as I thought he would. So yeah, more GPP for me. And that's it.
More GPP. Let's see. Sell chip for I already read that. Gobert or Wall in util for tournaments. I still think I like Wall. He's gonna carry probably double the ownership that Gobert. So if you want to get different, go ahead. But I still think I like John Wall with no Oladipo coming off of rest. We got a cash lineup here, Matt. We have a cash lineup here from Hudson, Matt. Mitchell, Walker, Grant, DeRozan, Vooch, Wall, Pascal, Sterling Brown. I really like that. I would only use Pascal there if Draymond is out. If Draymond plays, I don't trust the Pascal minutes there. Another lineup, Matt. We got DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, Jimmy Butler, Grant, Vooch, Mitchell, Brown, and Pascal. Again, I like that again, but I'm only on Pascal if Draymond sits. Yep. Thoughts on Julius Randle, Joe? We do like Julius Randle. I think he's our only play that we like from the Knicks. Oubre or Wiggins? Oubre. Jordan Clarkson or Cole Anthony? I like Cole Anthony with all the injuries for the Magic.
All right, TJ. This is going to come down to the wire.
One more, because I do want to answer this, because MJ to GOAT just said Harden, Julius Randle, Miles Bridges for Siakam, Drummond, and Westbrook. What do we think about that for a points league for season long? I like the team that has I like the trade. If you are getting Siakam, Drummond, and Westbrook, I would do that. So if you're receiving Siakam, Drummond, and Westbrook, I'd do that.
All right, the viewers are starting to go down. You guys are disappointing me. Okay, let's do a cash core. What's up?
Okay. DeLon Wright or Cole Anthony? Oh, boss. DeLon Wright for me. Like the stream, guys. I want my money. Thank you, Tommy.
Are you ready to do cash core? Okay.
What Golden State bigs you trust if Green? They don't have any if Draymond is out. So that's
bigs?
why. No, they legitimately don't. That's why I was saying like I would take advantage of this potential matchup, like the Spurs bigs. I think they could eat. So I guess the bigs I would like. They legitimately don't have any. Like the JTA is. Pascal's probably going to start at the 5. Like I honestly don't know what they're going to do if Draymond's out. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of shorter guys that could get some time.
All right, let's move on to the cash core. TJ, let's hear your 4 to 5 cash locks right now if you're making a lineup.
So if I were to be making a lineup, Matt, and I were to be using a core, I would take Vooch, Jeremy Grant, John Wall, and I'd probably go back to DeMar.
Okay. I don't hate that. That's actually lower on the ownership board.
I've taken them every single night. So, I mean, it's not like I'm going to hide and say, okay, so if you want to go to Johnson at 6,500, if you want to have somebody that's going to be higher owned, burn you. Actually, no, Matt. I'm going to change that. I'm going to go Vooch, Jeremy Grant, John Wall, and DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
All right. Do you hate me?
Yeah, mine would be very boring, but you ready for me to get crazy for everybody here? Because I'm that confident in my favorite GPP play. You ready for this, TJ?
Yep.
All right, it's going to be DeJounte Murray, Vooch, Jeremy Grant, and Danny Green.
In your cash core.
I'll say, do you know what? I'll say...
If you put him on our sheet, I'm going to smack you upside the head. I don't care if he goes for 30. I'm going to kill you.
Okay. but you guys wanted my favorite GPP play since last night. It was Middleton, so I saw your comment. I just gave it out. It's going to be Danny Green as well. I'm just mixing things up. I'm keeping it exciting. It's just a 3-man cash lock plus my favorite GPP option. That's all you guys can think about. All right, so let's go ahead and get off, TJ. Right now, we are 3 minutes behind. Let's get off now. Thank you guys so much for showing up. We almost hit that 380 mark. 361 just fell short, but we will hit it tomorrow, right, guys? Show up tomorrow.
Maybe will play center.
And with all that being said, have a great...
Draymond's out. Or Wiggins. They're the tallest guys at 6'7", Matt. JTA 6'6", Pascal 6'6". Like, they got no... Jakob Poeltl, tournament play, guys, if Draymond is out. Remember that.
And with all that being said, let's have
Don't forget it.
Great rest of your night. And let's cash.
Bye, guys. Love you. Thank you.